Welcome back to Summer Money. You might not think personal branding is something you have to worry about, but nowadays your personal and your company brand really do go hand in hand. Someone who knows all about personal branding and being PR ready is Samantha Dybac. Samantha is the founder and managing director of the PR Hub and joins me now with her personal branding tips. Sam, welcome.
Hi, Chloe. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, I love this topic. I think it's a really interesting and really important one for anyone in business. Small business entrepreneurs right up to the top CEO of a huge company. So tell me about the PR Hub.
Okay, so the PR Hub is a public relations and talent management agency, and we work with entrepreneurs and business leaders, so right up the chain, who want to build their credibility and want to lift their profile because they want to be in the media. They want to be seen as the go-to experts in their industries. They want to be noticed in their industries at speaking events and requested as being speakers at those events. And so we work with them to curate their brands and help them get those opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. How hard is it? How important do you think, I sort of gave it a bit of a lead in, but do you think that many business people are aware how important their personal brand is?
I think, look, it's a really fascinating area, and I think that we see the rise of entrepreneurs, and there's a swell in popularity with entrepreneurs. I mean, globally, you look at Facebook, you look at Amazon's a great example, you look at Snapchat, Microsoft. It's all about the people behind those brands as well as the brands, and the media interest in those people isn't going away. And so, I mean, look, Amazon is a great example because Jeff Bezos, who's like the richest guy in the world, has traditionally been known for being quiet and being more of a private guy. But more recently, you see him, you know, rubbing shoulders with Hollywood celebrities, hanging out with Obama, making large donations to philanthropic causes, and also making sure that those charities name him. As opposed to it being anonymous. So it's not going anywhere, and I think more and more we see it that the two are intertwined, and due to social media and the internet and fascination with entrepreneurs and new businesses, people want to know about the personal behind it.
I love that you've raised that. There is a fascination. The rise of social, even in just the past few years, has been absolutely huge. Everybody can be sort of a bit of a mini celebrity, influencer, whatever they want to be. So it is important that someone is in control of that to be fair if the person doesn't exactly know how to do it. So how important is sort of being PR ready? We had a chat before we came to air about being PR ready before you actually put yourself out there. So talk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, so look, over the years, so we've been doing this for almost 5 years as a PR and talent management agency specifically for business people. And one of the things that we came up with was actually a 4 weeks to get PR ready program, because so many people were coming to us wanting to build a brand, wanting promotion and publicity. And, you know, through trial and error, we ended up finding out that some of those people perhaps weren't so ready. And so we came up with a checklist. And so for me, you know, one of those things, the really important things is developing a story. And it sounds easy, but you know, you look at the statistics and there's over 2 million businesses now, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics in Australia, and 97% of them are small businesses.
Wow.
So they're not all going to be looking to scale or, you know, build a brand, but there's some heavy competition out there. So you really need to look at, you know, where did you come from? And some of our clients, they've got amazing backstories. You know, some have fled war-torn countries as refugees and come here with no English. Others dropped out of university and have gone on to sell their companies for multi-million dollar amounts. So it's really about finding a story and curating it so it's unique and interesting and engaging. So that's probably the first thing.
I absolutely love that. I think this creating a story is so interesting and important. And I always think, I really kind of look at a company or whatever because I've seen the person and thought, oh, that's really interesting about them. So it certainly is. It's that personal connection that gets you. Something else that I know is really important to you is this online presence. We were just talking about it. That's another one of your top tips. Tell me about online presence and how you create the correct online presence.
Look, it feeds into that. So the story is there, and so I always say to people, it doesn't matter that the mediums have changed. You know, in fact, it's more important because we can all use Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn to build a profile. So it's all out there. So you really need to go, what's somebody going to find when they look at me in Google? Because I love Googling people before I meet them, before I see a new client. It's like, what does Google say?
Yeah.
And so in those first 2 minutes, what first impression are people making? And you can control some of that messaging. In fact, a lot of it. So we say, you know, once we've got the story, we work with our clients to build, you know, what their profile looks like image-wise, messaging-wise, and make sure it's really consistent across all those platforms, and that you're singing from the song sheet every time you speak to someone about your company, whether it's at the pub, whether it's, you know, presenting in front of a boardroom of people or presenting to a new potential client.
Yeah.
It's really important.
It's super important, and I think it's so true. I mean, with Google, we're all kind of out there, aren't we?
Yep.
People can dig and find certain different things. I've mentioned on the show before, I will always Google people, obviously before I have them on the show, but if I'm looking, you know, for an employee or something like that, and it's funny what you can scroll through, so something to be a bit careful of there. Another thing you love to speak about is about being realistic with expectations, and I guess this is about the people who just want to skyrocket to fame immediately, but it's probably more about pace.
Yeah, look, we, as you know, we look after a number of entrepreneurs as clients, and some of them are considered, you know, leaders in their field, and some of Australia's top entrepreneurs. And I think in the past we've had people come to us with the expectation that they will be just as famous, that they will have just as strong a personal brand in a matter of months. And the reality is that these top entrepreneurs, and you look around the globe, they've been doing it for a really long time. They're investing in their brand, both physically, mentally, and obviously with dollars, and it takes a while to get there. So it is about having a realistic expectation about what you're going to get from your PR campaign.
Absolutely. On to dollars, when we talk about investment in PR, what's realistic?
So, look, it does vary. We specialise, as a company, we specialise in what I think is quite a niche. So we work with entrepreneurs and business leaders to really help them build personal brands and PR. So very different to, say, like a fashion PR house or someone that does restaurants or lifestyle or movies. So it's very different, and it ranges. You know, you've got big budgets. I think these days it could be anywhere from $5,000 a month up to, say, $20,000 a month. It really depends what you're after and what your KPIs are, and you need to be really clear on what your business objectives are, and making sure that your PR objectives align with those business objectives.
Yeah, and I guess it's all about tailoring and knowing, as you say, exactly sort of what you want. We've got a couple of minutes to go. Importance of personal brand, and I mentioned personal brand and company brand going hand in hand.
Yeah.
How closely are they? They're pretty close now at the moment, right up there.
Oh, look, do you know what? I think it's been like that for years, ever since I started in PR and marketing back in my 20s when I was at uni. And I worked for some amazing brands, helping them build their brands, and some of the best ones were all about the founders then. Now it's so much more important. You've got the rise of entrepreneurs, you've got globally, you've got amazing companies disrupting industries, you know, they're in the mainstream media, so, you know, it's really important, and they do go hand in hand, and you've got social media, and your personal Facebook account suddenly is infiltrated with business people and clients, and everyone wants to be your friend. So you've just got to be really careful.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's so true, isn't it? I mean, the more that extends, but I quite love that network effect and building a broad network. But I do think, especially the likes of Facebook, certainly does become much more of a business tool nowadays, I would expect, for lots of people. We've got to wrap up very, very quickly, but I just wanted to ask your final bits of advice for people out there thinking about their personal brand and their company brand. Any sort of bits of advice for 2018 and how to, I guess, make yourself be seen in the best possible light? And I just wanted to add to that as well. How do you know what to say sort of yes to and no to and not do everything?
I struggle with that. That's such a big question. I think if you're looking to get into it, be really passionate about what it is that you're selling or promoting, and make sure you really love your work. And then have a think about, well, who's my customers, and if I was a customer, what would I want to see in that person? What would I want them to look like? How would I want them to behave? Whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. Are they a sort of person that, not that I want to be friends with, but their values seem strong to me and I align with them? So really build, you know, a nice profile image library, you know, write up a nice bio for you, go back to your story and think about what makes you truly unique in your space that no one else has done, and start there. And you can use LinkedIn, you can use Medium, you can use Twitter, you can use all of these platforms. Websites are great to build a blog, and start to use them for not very much cost to really build a brand presence.
Absolutely. And then just quickly, how do you know what to say yes to and what to say no to?
So in in the beginning, it's like when you start a business, you're always saying yes to everything because they're all opportunities. I think you need to put a value on your time. You really need to place a value on your time. And you know, if something's taking up a fair chunk of your time, preparing for a speaking engagement or attending an event, then you need to start charging for those things because otherwise it's eating into your core business potentially, and then you'll start running into all sorts of troubles with the cash flow.
Absolutely.
And cash flow is critical.
It's important, and it devalues who you are and what you're all about, which is absolutely important. Sam, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
Summer
you,
Money.
Chloe.
I think that's so interesting for entrepreneurs, business people out there. You know, we are who our brand is, so it's very important. So thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. After the break, we find out more about sourcing capital for startups. Stay with us.